I'm Daemonxel, and this is your Eve Echoes Community News, where we take a deep dive into all the happenings of the week, like the crumbling away of the Hippo Coalition, one of the first supers killed on the Chinese server, as well as what's going on up in Wicked Creek, and possibly Wormholes coming to Eve Echoes. Let's talk about it. So we're going to start off like we always do by asking you guys if you like my content, if you can go ahead and tag that subscribe button, ring that bell, share and like the video, then of course you'll stay up to date with everything I do here on the channel. Now, I know I have not been around in the last week or so, and I know you guys are still waiting on that Big Kills video. I know I have not done one since March. I've been extremely busy, both in home and work life, and I am working on it. I'm just going to do a condensed version of the Big Kills, just trying to get it out there, just trying to reset the meters right now so that we can get this contest back up and running. But let's take a look first at what's going on in the HHH Coalition. That's the Hippo Coalition. Now, this pact was a defensive pact made by all the Crab Coalition army when they basically said that the war has basically gone cold. Now, the war is still ongoing. There is still fighting going on. However, I think just a lot of people got bored with it. So, what's going on with the HHH? Well, a first of many have pulled out of this coalition. In fact, there is talk of Meow. They were the first to drop out, as well as the Brethren Court. Now, I do have some official statements. The first official statement is from the Brethren Court, and they say that after 7 months of coalition work, starting with Crabco, continuing with the Hippos, the content for our pilots has become rather repetitive, which ultimately is mostly a result of the direction NetEase steered the game so far. Since the delay of Titans was announced, yes, they are not coming for the anniversary. I am sorry. We were all kind of looking, well, can't say we're looking forward to it. We expected it to come. But that's speculation. That's for another video. Let's get back into the statement here. There is still hope on the horizon that they will finally listen to the community. We want to shift our focus back to our roots, which is piracy and mercenary work. Months of Coalition fleet have left little to no room for what we actually enjoy doing, and that has to change. We want to thank everybody in Hippos for the countless hours of fun we had flying with such an awesome group for such a long time. Looking back, we've had awesome fights and tons of content with Razzle Dazzle, and our pilots wouldn't want it any other way. We send out a good fight to everyone who participated in the war, and we will see each other again on the battlefield. Many things are changing in the South, alliances rebranding, new corporations and players joining in. It is an overall an interesting time that requires our attention at this point. We also want to focus on strengthening our own community in the upcoming weeks and months to provide a fun and exciting environment for all our pilots. Now, they have also accepted into their ranks someone that has shown up on the Big Kills list many times before, and that is Mug. They have actually joined the Brethren Court, as well as fellow content creator Virtual PGE. Now, we did mention Meow was one of the first to leave that coalition, and I did reach out to Valk for a comment on their behalf. And when asking for that official comment from Meow, all I got was, it's a new chapter. Now, an inside source has told me that Meow had actually left Hippos 3 months prior to, and until Brethren Court announced, it wasn't really official. They also just want to focus more on their own alliance and don't see any merit in continuing with the large coalition at this point. And they are still having that fight with Wolf up in Fountain to secure their borders. In fact, we also learned of an open-ended mercenary contract on all posses within Wolf Space. It is 300 million per each kill mail of a posse. You would have to DM, I believe it's Argo 2, and they have to be from the 25th of July moving forward. It isn't open-ended. As far as I know, I haven't seen an end to this contract, and all of the corporations within Wolf are available as targets. Now again, they are not the only ones who have left the Triple H pack. In fact, Wild Geese and Exodus have also left the Triple H defensive pack, and they're now warring against each other up in Cloud Ring. In fact, there was a Reddit thread from Wild Geese basically explaining the entire thing. And we're just going to kind of paraphrase here. Geo made a post. Now, if you don't know who Geo is, he is the leader of Wild Geese Diplomacy. He's basically in charge of the diplomacy. And Wild Geese have always populated Cloud Ring, which is right next to Declan and Fade. So basically, it's the corridor from Silent Forces into Fountain, basically, as well as the gateway into Fade. Now, they basically said that over the last couple weeks, it's been really rough for them. They've lost several citadels to Silent without any form of support from the Triple H pack, as well as outposts burning to Silent Forces. In fact, they say that the last straw was the loss of their outpost in system FC7 TAC HQ up in Cloud Ring. Now, this citadel was not destroyed by Silent Forces. In fact, it was destroyed by Exodus forces, who were supposedly allies in this Triple H pact. They state that EXDS pilots violated coalition agreement and destroyed a Wild Geese outpost at a key system, F7C, the one where we set gate camps to block Silent Forces. We were patient when Exodus pilots were hunting for Wild Geese newbies during the war, ratting in Wild Geese space and shouting, "When the war ends, I will come cut your throats, underdogs." We were allies and worked for the common goal. We were patient when Exodus started roaming our space. We are warriors, and we always glad to meet some content. We were patient when Exodus forces started to rat our cap anomalies. At least it's corporation's fault they were unable to rat it fast. We were patient when Exodus brought CRB with them, our blood enemies, mercenaries who work for Silent. That moment I got an eye tick, but we still can fly with anyone we want, right? We were patient when Exodus pilots started crap talks in local, saying that it's their CEO's job to explain what does honor mean. As you see from several of these screenshots, basically they're saying that battle goose equals a coward goose. But they say that the pause was the last straw, after which we are not ready to tolerate such behavior anymore. To the great honor of Exodus leadership, they approached me, ready to compensate losses, fully understanding their pilots had gone too far. However, considering grudges above, we consider that the case is a matter of honor. Wild Geese is not a hooker, one that can hit and shut her up with money. On the side, Exodus are our battle brothers. We fought together, and we are very friendly with some of their corporations. We respect their skill and are grateful for PvP lessons that they share with us. Minding all that I've said above, Wild Geese leadership has no other choice but to make the following decisions. 1. In order not to violate the coalition agreements concluded, Wild Geese has left the Hippos Coalition. Number 2, Wild Geese starts symmetrical responses to Exodus aggression until one of the following conditions occurs. Wild Geese will not get enough spoils of war to compensate the losses, or Exodus will bring us Silent Citadel kill, preferably UFCG, former UF, to prove that we are still fighting on the same side. In closing, they said it was a true pleasure flying with the Crab Hippo pilots, and they're looking forward to meet all of them once again as allies. Cheers to Void and OG, who's FC United pilots from all time zones. Cheers to the Space Cows, especially Sandia, who came to defend Wild Geese Citadel alone and died like a true geese. Cheers to Brethren Court and Oizer. Man, you grew so much the time that we knew each other. And cheers to AOA. You show up on the grid, make me feel myself like a tiny little birdie. Cheers to all other alliances who took part in that epic war. And it goes on and on. So, in response to this, yes, Exodus is now having a war with Wild Geese. And in fact, Wild Geese attacked several citadels within Branch belonging to Exodus. One of them was the citadel of DHW Corporation. Basically, DHW Corporation hit back, destroying one of the Wild Geese's citadels, this citadel, in that strategic system of F7C TAC H0. It's either H0 or HQ. I'm probably screwing this up, but I think it's H0. I'm seeing that they have attacked several Exodus structures, however, we're not able to make fruitful of any of those attacks, so all citadels are still standing of Exodus, and currently, after just a couple of days of this fighting, basically they got one pause kill and one citadel kill. Obviously, we'll check back in with both sides and see how this war progresses as we move forward. But the struggle is real everywhere else as well. Now, a few other members of the HHH pact included ESC, well, not ESCA, because ESA is neutral. We're going to get to that story in a minute. But Void and OG. Now, OG has suffered a setback as well in losing a lot of its leadership due to retirement. I do not believe they are still with the HHH pact. However, they are still of pact, which is basically just a defensive pact between OG, Void, and newly ESCA. So, longtime advocate and playing since beta Sandman has retired with all of his accounts. Jarhead had also retired, as well as many other leadership figures, I believe in Nerva as well. And they're kind of like a shell of its former self. A lot of the corporations and players have left OG. However, it is now solid in the hands of Lofty, who is trying to right the ship again. Briefly, the reins were handed over to Casper, but knowing Casper as I did, he handed them right off because Casper does not want leadership. Casper just wants to go on the hunt. At the time of this recording, however, I do not have a statement from Red Lofty. He was promising me one, however, I know he was busy when I contacted him. Okay, so before I go into Void and continue on, this is actually an update to this, because this post just happened today, and I've been editing this video for the last day and a half or so, only because I'm super busy. But, to touch back on OG, some dudes, SUM, left OG, and there is a post in here about remembering Steve French. It says, we did what we could to defend and build and create as good a place to live in Wicked Creek as we could support. The decision to go to Silent was a difficult one at first, because we'd spent many months at war with them, and some of us, me included, had nursed years-long grudges. It goes on to say that OG had been on a corkscrew spiral downwards for months. Sandman, the enigmatic Alliance leader, had been AWOL for days, weeks, and sometimes months at a time. In the vacuum created by this absent, folks tried to step up and run the various programs as an Alliance needs to have to survive out and know. He goes on to say that they're going to... I'm going to skip some of this here. It says here, it wasn't working for us, so we decided to leave and go to Silent. We knew it would be an unpopular decision, and that some elements within the Alliance would take our decision weirdly personal, so discretion was the order of the day. We've all seen this before, when a corp decides to leave that Alliance and shift on over to possibly a force that they've been fighting before that. It never goes well. Everyone always takes it personal, most of the time. Goes on to say that they began passing quietly assets to some of the new corps in OG who had a good track record of PvP and home defense. They believed that circumventing the nepotism and backroom dealings for those who get solved in Wicked Creep was not only the right thing to do, but also would leave OG's inner pocket better defended and developed. See here, they moved 56 jumps across the universe, hunted the entire way, because obviously, as things do, things were discovered that they were leaving. Let's see here. They said they traded losses and good fights the entire way, and they were moving under fire from old friends. Then Sandman quit. And OG passed from steady leadership with a long-range calculated diplo to less capable hands. Within a week of our departure from Wicked Creek, we had over 50 OG tunes camped in the NPC station next door to our new Sov. they go on to say that one day, our beloved mascot, Steve French, was brutally murdered in his carrier while ratting by a former friend. Cries of justice for Steve French went up, and we made bracelets that said Steve Strong, and we vowed to extract blood for blood. They say they didn't have to, we didn't ask them to, but Silent saw that what was happening and immediately said no. Instead of having to fight off the scorned lovers of an entire former alliance as a single corporation, Silent jumped in and backed us up. Now all the nightmarish scenes we worked hard to prevent when we helped lead OG are playing out. OG is now burning to the ground. They finish out by saying, I don't want my friends to suffer, but anyone attached to the sinking ship of OG should plan to drown very soon. We remember Steve French, and soon all Wicked Creek will too. So let's move now on to what I pre-recorded about Void. Void, on the other hand, has been having a few problems as Silent has been hitting them, as well as some issues with ESCA. As an ally to Void, ESA has squarely put themselves also in the crosshairs, as well as OG, or really any allies of Void. However, ESA has also led a statement saying that they remain neutral in this, as they were never part of the CC nor the HHH pact. However, they do belong to the pact and sturdy allies of Void. Currently, right now, there is no fighting with ESCA and Silent. If there does, I will follow up on that. However, they have been having problems with former HHH members, AOA. In fact, they've been having some roaming fleets coming through their space, and they actually wiped a fleet worth about 18 billion as they were being attacked. Now, it is just roamers that I'm being told entering ESCA's region of cache. There is no structured warfare between ESCA or AOA at this time. Let's take a side step from the battles that is going on, and let's look at other aspects. We have the first confirmed super kill. However, it is on the Chinese server. It is not on our server. But as you can see, the first to fall was an Aeon, and it is worth 2 trillion ISK. To bring it down, it took 12.1 million points of damage to bring this down. And as you can see, it was a fleet of, looks like a fleet battle, maybe 76 participants on this kill mail itself, including all sorts of caps. I'm not sure of any other ships on here. I don't have the actual kill mail, just a screenshot of it. But currently right now, as far as I know, there are no super kills on the international server. In fact, if we actually go to Mario's Echoes.Mobi site for all kills, we can actually see that it is actually the only super, because I've organized this according to ship class, it is the only super that has been killed thusly and been reported on so far. There is no other super that has been killed since they have come out that has been submitted to Mario's website. And unfortunately, this is the only kill board that we have, and it is technically the official kill board of Eve Echoes, as it is on the main server. So we have that kill. So what else is on the horizon? Well, would you believe Wormholes are coming to Eve Echoes? Now, I cannot confirm nor deny because I'm not breaking any kind of NDA, but this was posted by game designer Cloud in the general section of the Eve Echoes Discord. And it states, is anyone familiar with Wormholes? Welcome to DM me about the design you think is most interesting. Does that mean we have Wormholes coming to Eve Echoes, or is it just a playful way to get people's excitement up? Well, we'll have to wait and see, but it does beg the question, if they're looking for ideas about design, I guess they are not going to be going with the tried and true EVE Online version of Wormholes. Could this mean that it'll be a version of Nihilist Space, or something completely different when they first come? Now, and if you do remember, in the beginning of the game itself, in that first year, we were able to see these wormhole locations on the map itself. Since then, they did update the map and they took them away, so you can no longer see them in game. But they've always been there in the code. Something to think about as we roll ever closer to our 3rd year anniversary. So that's what I got for you today. That's our episode. Hope you guys found this informative, entertaining, kept you up to date. If there's anything else you want to see on this channel or in the news, just give me a DM on Discord or leave a comment down below. I will be putting out a video of Wormholes, what to expect if we are kind of deriving from the EVE Online version, or, you know, what my thoughts on what they could be. So, again, I hope you guys have a great week, have a great weekend, fly safe, and remember, here on the channel, we are always one vision, one purpose, one front.